They're so cute. I was so excited to get up this morning because I knew I had this story waiting for me. Good morning everybody and welcome to another week. It's currently the 10th of March 2025 and after last month's really poor attempt at reading a lot of books, I've decided this month that I'm gonna do mood reading because that's the way I think that I work best as a reader. That's the way I think I choose books better, just read more because I'm wanting to read what I want to read at that given time. Because if there's one thing I've learned from doing the TBR jar video, it says I cannot force myself to want to read a certain book and enjoy it. And already in the 10 days of March I've read more than the entirety of February by mood reading. So I'm gonna stick to it and I'm gonna try to film as much as I can this week, documenting how much I'm reading, what I'm reading, where I'm reading it, when I'm reading it. I think it's quite soon to see what I'm up to. Quite a busy week planned and a busy weekend, so I'm not sure how well I'm gonna do towards the end of the week, but I have high hopes and high expectations for myself. This week you'll probably see me living in this jumper. I did of course go to the Sweet and Sour, I keep calling it the Sweet and Sour tour, the Short and Sweet tour at the weekend in London at the O2. It was the best night ever, had so much fun, and yeah, the one thing about me is I'm going to milk the merch and I'm going to wear it for like months after I've been to the concert. But I was reading Deep End by Elliot Hazelwood over the weekend and I finished this book last night. I'll go into it in more depth in my March wrap-up video, but safe to say I'm really disappointed by how much I didn't love this book. I was pining for this book for months and months before it came out, convinced it was going to be my favourite Ali Hazelwood. I loved the premise, I loved the way it sounded, I loved the different takes she was getting. It just unfortunately fell so flat for me. No one is more upset about that than me. I have strong feelings towards the book, but I didn't hate it. There was aspects of it I really loved, and again I'll go into those in my March wrap-up video. I was so convinced I was gonna like it that I already pre-ordered the Illumicrate edition. I mean, it's gorgeous, I don't regret it, but I just wish they loved it more. That being said, I think I need someone, some hero to pull me out of this disappointment in the romance genre, and there's only one person that could be that person and do that for me. It is of course the one, the only, Elsie Silver. This book came out last week, I think. I also have it on Kindle Unlimited. I have a physical copy. I'm gonna start it probably as soon as I finish filming this. It is the third book in the Rose Hill series, follows Reese and Tabby. Ever since I finished Wild Eyes, this story is the only one that's been on my mind. I have been craving this story and I'm so excited to read it. I know I'm gonna love it. I know it, I know it. I don't have a single doubt. This is how I'm gonna start my week. Hopefully it's not going to take me very long. Very excited, and of course we'll take you along on the journey with me and give you my thoughts as we go. Dare I say this is my favourite Elsie Silver book to date. Guys, there's something about this book. I'm 100 pages in, but there is something about these characters, there's something about the relationship, and there's something about the circumstances and the deeper plot behind it that I think this is my favourite. I mean, I've always been a Willa and Cade girly. I've always stand by that. That is my favourite book so far. But this, depending on how this pans out, I think this could take top spot. There's something about it. I'm very excited. I knew I was going to love it. I knew I was going to love this. Did I know I was going to love this much? No. Did I hope? Yes. Am I going to keep reading? Yes. I start work at 9:30. It's currently 9:25, so I'm going to have to wrap it up there. I like to read for an hour before work, maybe an hour at lunchtime, depending on what I'm doing, and then basically all evening, depending on what I've got planned. So you can bet some dent is going to be made in these pages. The sun is shining, it's a great day, it's a great morning, and it's a great Elsie Silver. So I'm excited. Evening everybody. It turns out that my day was actually pretty hectic, so I didn't get to read at lunch. I went to the gym, and then this evening we went for a food shop and then ate dinner, which took up a big chunk of the evening. Although I did manage to get some reading done. I am currently on page 196 of Wild Side and can confirm I am absolutely devouring this. I love it so much. It is hands down my favorite Elsie Silver, and I cannot wait to finish it this week. I'm literally, I don't know when, probably tomorrow, if I'm being honest, probably tomorrow. I'm loving it so much. I have so much to say about Tabby and Reese and Milo. Oh, it's all the feels in one. It's everything you want in an Elsie Silver book in one. It's quite late, so I'm just gonna go straight to sleep now, but best believe I'll be waking up tomorrow morning and reading this book. Yeah, this has been a great start to the week. I'm really loving my mood reading this month. I'm really loving my mood reading and just being able to pick up whatever I want whenever I feel like it, instead of being confined to a certain list of books that I set for myself. So who knows, maybe this is the way I'll continue forward throughout the rest of the year. But yes, it's going well so far. I will keep you updated, and I will see you in the morning. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to a Tuesday morning in my house reading Wildside by Elsie Silver. I was so excited to get out this morning because I knew I had this story waiting for me. After the disappointment of my last read, this is exactly what I needed. I mean, if you can count on one person and one person only, it's gonna be Elsie Silver. I woke up a bit later than usual today, so I don't have that much time to read this morning, probably only about half an hour, but I think I can get a good, what am I trying to say? I think I can get a good way through, and then lunch I will go to the gym, so I won't be reading, and then tonight I will sit down and try my best to finish this book because I just need to know what happens at the end and what happens to these people because they are my favourites. And that is not even recency bias, because if you know, you know. Tomorrow is the day that I commute into London, and it's always a bit hit or miss how much reading I do on the train. Sometimes I just want to stare out the window and pretend that I'm in a movie listening to my music, and then sometimes I want to read a book. Kind of depends what I'm reading, but Tuesday night is always the perfect night for me to settle down and get lots of reading done. Get an early night for the early wake tomorrow morning. I am confident that I can maybe whiz through this book, maybe finish it. I don't make any promises to myself, but I'm certainly gonna try. I might read in here this morning, actually, for a change of scenery. Why not? Let's go. They're so cute. They're so cute. Receipt is a bit marked, of course. I need to go to work now, but I don't want to. I don't want to go to work. I want to keep reading. It's so cute. It's so cute. I love them. I simply love them. But alas, I can't. Till we meet again. Also, just a side note, today is 1 week until Sunrise on the Reaping comes out. Excuse me? What do you mean, a week? That is what I'm really excited about this month. Next week, I know that I'm going to read Sunrise on the Reaping. Whether that be in an hour or a day, few days is yet to be determined, but all I know is that I will be reading that, and my entire TBR or my entire mood will just be Sunrise and Reaping. So I cannot wait for that, and I've just remembered that as I'm about to log into work, so now I'm in good spirits. Guys, I finished it. I finished it. It's 10:30 on a Tuesday night. I normally go to bed at 9:30 on Tuesdays, as I said, because I've got to get up early to go to London tomorrow morning, but I finished it. I didn't actually have a choice in the matter. I just kind of had to keep reading and to find how it ended. I know I was saying the whole way through this journey of this book that it was going to be my favourite, and it was my favourite, and I can safely say now I finished it. It's my favourite. It's my favourite. I am going to do an in-depth review / talk more about this book properly in my March TBR, because it's also late and I'm also tired. I have so many thoughts right now. But I need to get to bed. I'm just on a high. I didn't think I'll be able to sleep because I would just be thinking about it and what happened and all of the characters and how I'm probably not going to see them again. Well, until September. There'll be cameos, I guess, in the next book. But then after that, that's just this side of the universe, Rose Hill, will be finished. If I'm honest, I'm not ready to let them go. I love them so much. And the best thing I think about this book was there wasn't a third act breakup. There was something that happened that was important and scary towards the end, but it wasn't to do with the relationship, and I'm not going to say anything else because that might spoil it. Sometimes I love the third act breakup, sometimes I hate it. I love this book for my heart. If I'm being honest, I think the first half was stronger, but I always feel that way when the yearning is strongest at the start and they're not actually together. I'd love to know if you read this book, what you thought, and if you liked it. I know some people are put off by a certain aspect of this book. I personally loved it, so I don't know what that says about me. If you've read any Elsie Silver and what your favourite Elsie Silver book is, because maybe I would do a video ranking all of Elsie Silver's books, because I feel like that could be a fun time. Once I've read them all, of course, because I've still got the Golden Rush series to read. On that note, I am going to go to bed because I have got to get up early. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to film tomorrow. I don't know if I'm going to do any reading tomorrow, but that's tomorrow's problem. So I'll see you in the morning. So as it turns out, I actually forgot to film any content for Wednesday, which isn't as bad as it sounds because I actually ended up doing no reading. It was one of those mornings where I had slept terribly the night before and just couldn't get on the train and read. Like, I just needed to stare out the window and listen to my tunes at full volume until I got to London. But I did decide on what I was going to start reading today, which is Thursday, and that is The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. And I know a lot of people would have read this at school, at university, as like required reading, but I never did. And it's part of my 100 top books post to scratch challenges. If you watch my shorts, you might be following along with the series, but this book is what I've chosen to read next on that challenge, so I'm quite excited. It's quite a short book, just over 200 pages, but all of the text is kind of laid out like this, and there's not many chapters and there's not many page breaks. So I'm anticipating it might take me a while. It's certainly different to a lot of things I've been reading. I don't know how long it's going to take me. I'm interested to find out. And yeah, I'll report back how it goes. And hopefully today I get a lot more reading done than I did yesterday, because the midweek blues, the midweek hump really hit me. I'm on page 37, aka chapter 5, and it's already making me laugh the amount of times phony has been used, and there's a few other phrases in here that he has used quite frequently, and it's making me laugh. I'm not disliking it, I'm actually kind of like engrossed in the book. I don't know why. My brain doesn't know why, doesn't understand why, because it's not the most gripping or riveting book that I've ever read, but something about it. No kidding, I have literally nearly finished this book. I think that was like 2 sittings, maybe a day, less. I mean, of course, I have no choice. I'm going to keep reading and I'm going to finish it tonight, but I did not expect that from myself. I didn't expect that from myself, but I'm impressed. I'm literally using the flashlight of my phone to record this, but I just finished this book. I can't believe it. I literally just sat down in an evening and I read like over 100 pages, like 150 pages in one sitting. That's insane. That's crazy. I'm so impressed with myself. And what's even better is now I can scratch this off of my poster, my 100 books, top 100 books poster challenge. And I ended up really liking this book. I'm not sure like a lot happens in it, but it is a very beautiful exploration of loneliness and isolation, and I thought it was quite beautiful in its own unique way, and I did really enjoy it, and I'm glad I've read it. If anything can keep me up in an evening reading non-stop and wanted to finish it, like I had to finish it, I wasn't not going to finish it, but I'd say that's a pretty good book in my books. It's fairly late, I think it's like 11 o'clock, but tomorrow's a Friday. I do have a busy week, so I will go to sleep, but I couldn't possibly go to sleep without finishing this book. And yeah, I think mood reading this week has been a really good idea for me. This is my second book of the week, which I'm really impressed with. If you also count Ali Hazelwood Deep End, that's 3 books this week, but I don't think we can count that. So this is my second book of the week. I'm going to start a new one tomorrow. Mood reading seems to be the way forward, for me at least, and I think I'll continue with it. Hello everybody, it's Friday. It's Friday. It's not morning, it's the afternoon. I had an incredibly stressful morning and I'm very stressed to deal. I am off to Coventry to spend the weekend with some of my best friends who are also in the Booktok, Booktube space. I'm really excited. I'm about to get on a 2-hour train, which I hope I'll do a lot of reading in because I haven't read anything today. I woke up early to wash my hair, which, if you know, with curly hair is quite a feat. It's a routine, it's a procedure, it's all of the above. And I was working this morning, so I didn't have any time to read. I'm still packing. It's, what time is it actually? It's 2. So I've got an hour to pack and to get myself sorted. It's a really busy week as well because I'll be going back to London on Sunday, staying with my friend, and then on Monday is the launch, of course, of Sunrise on the Reaping. So I'll be doing quite a shift at work, which of course is exciting. I just feel quite overwhelmed because I won't be home for several days. I'm going to be taking my Kindle with me. I'm reading Off to the Races by Elsie Silver. And when I said Elsie Silver can't disappoint you, that was before I read this book. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not having the best time with it, but I'm soldiering through. I'm excited. I'm stressed. We'll see how it goes. Bear with me, please, because I'm stressed. Okay, I'll see you in a bit because I need to pack. This is the current state of my suitcase. Does anyone else leave packing right to the last minute, or is that just me? Hello everyone. As you can probably tell, it's a new week. I never finished recording for the weekend. It turns out I read on the train. I finished my book on the train, but the train was so grossly busy on the Friday evening that I felt too shy to take up my camera and film any more videos. So that is just kind of how I left the weekend. And then once I got to Coventry, the weekend was just go, go, go. So I never actually sat down and read any more than that. I was away from home for 5 days, came back, overwhelmed, tired, slept, read Sunrise on the Reaping, nearly finished Sunrise on the Reaping. We'll do a separate video on Sunrise on the Reaping, but finally filming this outro. And can I just say that I'm so incredibly impressed with how much I read last week. I think leaning into my mood reader tendencies and just accepting myself for who I truly am, which is a mood reader, really helped. I'm gonna give a quick rundown of everything I read last week, sum up of my initial thoughts. I will go into each of these books in more detail in my March wrap up, but for now, let's just do the top lines on how I found each book. The first up, I obviously read Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver. We all know by now how much I adored this book. We'll say a week later I'm still claiming it to be my favourite Elsie Silver, tied with Kate and Willa. I thought the chemistry and the yearning was absolutely unmatched. I was obsessed. I couldn't pause for breath when I was reading this book. I loved the story. I love how touching and tender it was. I love how tender each of the characters were to each other, how they each let their guards down with one another and with the people around them who they grew to love and who they accepted the love from. I wasn't expecting to feel so emotional and even cry when I was reading this book, but cry I did. I think that's just part of Elsie Silver's magic, is she makes you feel so invested in her characters and in the whole town really, and you just can't help but fall in love with each and every one of them. A massive hit for me, and I'm so glad I read that after the disappointment, not disappointment, but disappointment of Deep End. Romance is still alive. It is, and it's in this book. I then took a bit of a turn in my choices and randomly felt like I wanted to pick this up, so of course I had to listen to my moods. I had to be the mood reader, and I went for The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. Yeah, I chose this one. I bought this edition a few years back, I think, because I knew I wanted to read it as part of the challenge, and something called to me, you know, something called to me on that day, and I thought, you know what, it's time I finally read this book, because I never did at school, and I know a lot of people were forced to study this book, and I think maybe not studying it and reading it as an adult kind of changed maybe the way I would have thought about it at the time, but I did end up really enjoying it. I thought it was, as I said, a beautiful exploration of isolation and just losing your way in life and not really knowing who you are and trying to find that, but also just keep getting yourself in all these kinds of situations and messes. Really enjoyed Holden's voice. He was an unreliable relator, at times very annoying, repetitive, but there's something so charming about him that you can't help but love him and root for him in his story. Honestly, I had such a fun time reading this and I really enjoyed it, which is surprising to me, but here I am. Another successful read of the week, which brings us to the third and final book that I finished last week, and it was Off to the Races by my beloved Elsie Silver. As you can see, I read this on Kindle. I don't actually have the physical copy, and this is the first book in Elsie Silver's Gold Rush Ranch series. One thing I will say is you can definitely tell this is one of her first books. Going from Wildside to reading this feels like a completely different author. The Elsie Silver that I have known to grow and to love is nowhere to be found in this book, in my humblest of opinions. You know how much I love Elsie Silver. I always bang on about how she can never let me down. Well, I fear I spoke too soon. I really didn't like the main characters, either of them. This book was just not the vibe for me, at least. I was rolling my eyes for about 80% of this book. I thought Billy had more chemistry with her horse than there was in the entirety of the rest of the book. Please, I did not care about either of these characters individually or together, and it was quite a chore to get through it. I'll say no more than that, but interested to also hear your thoughts if you have read this book, because I was kind of shocked, actually. If you would have put a passage up to my face and told me to guess the author, never in a million years would I've got that right. As a whole, I think my week was very successful. I feel the need to apologise for how chaotic this video probably is. It's the first time that I've tried to do like a reading style vlog on YouTube. I did really enjoy it, but let me know what you think, because as always, I value your opinions so much. And if you have watched this far through, then thank you so much. It means the world to me. Please give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment and subscribe to my channel. And on that note, I shall see you all very soon, and thank you so much for watching. Bye!